Alright, so it's a hard life on the road. Now there's no doubt about the biggest story in football at the moment, the great Marseille scandal. So, in the finest traditions of investigators finding out what's going on, Standing Room Only has been amongst the movers and shakers in the south of France to suss out what's happening. So I've got to go and meet old Monsieur Bernie Tappy, so I'll see you later. But garçon? Le menu, s'il vous plaît.
I've been to Wales to investigate the case of the fans who are on a European police blacklist and can't get off.
They rounded us up, took our photographs, searched our baggage, took our names and addresses, checked our passports.
The man they called the Giraffe, Big Jack, talks about his career, the England job and his ambition to get the Irish to America.
There's been a lot of speculation. People talk about what I'm going to do. And to be fair, I love the Irish job, I love the Irish people, I love the country.
And we follow a woman in a unique job on her first big match at Wembley.
The experience for me tonight was amazing. I mean, just to be part of the national side.
The police here in Marseille have been pretty busy over the last few months investigating alleged bribery by the gaffers of the football club. But elsewhere in Europe, the forces of law and order have been lining up against the ordinary fan. Now don't get me wrong, I'm all for tracking down hoolies, but what happens when the police get the wrong man? Well, on my way to France, I stopped off in sunny Cardiff, where a bunch of lads have been trying to prove their innocence for years.
They're outnumbering the police horribly. And this is what British football has got to contend with now.
Hooligans, the scourge of football at home and abroad. To combat them, in 1990, the National Criminal Intelligence Service, or NCIS, set up a football unit with their so-called blacklist of Britain's football thugs. It means, if you're a football fan, Big Brother has almost certainly got his eye on you. Information on this blacklist is exchanged between police forces in different countries. It's helped achieve much success in the fight against the hooligans. But some fans claim the system has one vital flaw. You see, the trouble is, it seems you don't have to be charged or even arrested to end up on the hooligan blacklist, which can then be distributed to any police force in the world.
And in this Big Brother era of European cooperation, that's exactly what two unsuspecting Welsh fans claim happened to them on their way to lend vocal support to Russia and the boys on the way to World Cup glory.
It all began in 1990, when Gwilym Bore and his friend were stopped by police on the Belgian border.
We were on the way to Luxembourg to watch Wales, and apparently there had been an incident involving two people at Bruges who were ejected from the train, and rightly so. However, we were sleeping, and we were woken at a place called Arlon, where we discovered that all the Belgians had got off at the previous stop, and there was only Welsh supporters on board. They rounded us up, took our photographs, searched our baggage, took our names and addresses, checked our passports, and that was it.
Until that is, last November, when Wales were back in Belgium for a World Cup qualifier. The night before the game, Gwilym and his friend were stopped at an identity check.
Well, I looked over the policeman's shoulder, and he had a list of names where I saw my name and my friend's name. They let me through. However, they detained my friend, who produced identification in the form of a credit card. He was subsequently taken away, incarcerated, strip searched, photographed once again, and deported.
The reason given that night for deporting Gwilym's friend was that he was on the list. Only later did the Belgian police state that he had been drunk and disorderly, something Gwilym and the other witnesses deny. But why were the boys on the blacklist in the first place? It turns out it all dated back to the incident 2 years earlier, when, according to police records, they'd caused disorder on the train.
The information held is not only inaccurate, it's effectively libelous. It accuses us of causing a disturbance when we did not cause a disturbance. We have witnesses that prove there's 25 people on that train to Luxembourg whose names made their way into a list who were guilty of nothing.
Since this latest brush with the Belgian authorities, Gwilym's felt like a virtual prisoner in his own country and stuck to supporting Wales at home.
Cardiff Farmers Park, and the last of the fans rush in to add their voices to the choir, which will help Wales towards USA 94. And hopefully, Wales will get there playing fairly and squarely. But when it comes to Gwilym and the boys,
Have the authorities played fairly and squarely? There are 5,500 names on the football unit's blacklist. Names of those convicted of offences or merely suspected of being involved. NSIS say that when compiling names of suspects on the list, they're acting in good faith.
Now, I appreciate that different police forces in different countries have different procedures, but I have to take on trust what they tell me. And if they tell me that individuals have been arrested, detained and photographed for incidents that amount to offences that I am interested in and concern my unit, then they will go on my computer system.
But what Gwillim's story suggests is that someone may get on the blacklist through inaccurate information. Under the Data Protection Act, anyone can apply to see if they're on it, but they can do very little about it if they are.
If something is on our computer about them that they're not happy with, and it happened in another country, the only thing they can do is take that up with the authorities in that country. And if those authorities admit or withdraw that information, it will be deleted from our computer immediately.
The Belgian police say they're sticking to their story, that both lads are guilty hooligans. Through automatic processing, Gwillim's now off the list, though his friend's name remains. Convinced of their innocence, the boys' case has been taken up by their local MEP.
Well, NCIS appear to be a law unto themselves to a very large extent. They're under very little scrutiny, it seems, by government departments. They're operating with very little public accountability. And one of the things I hope will happen is that the European Parliament will take very seriously the accusations that have been made, and the European Parliament itself will have an inquiry as to how NSIS operates at a British level and how similar authorities operate for the European community.
The Home Office say they never comment on police intelligence operations, and NSIS reckon that everyone on their list deserves to be there. Further proof, say civil rights organisations, that football fans have very few rights.
Ian Rush has now scored over 300 goals in a glittering career for both Liverpool and Wales. Ian, what are your three favourite strikes?
Yeah, well, the ball just came over from the wing. Not quite sure it was who crossed it, and just stuck my head out and it ended up in the back of the net, really.
And the second one, Ian, quite a different affair.
Yeah, well, the ball just came over from the wing. Not quite sure it was who crossed it. I just stuck my head out and it ended up in the back of the net, really.
And finally, this classic from your early days.
Yeah, well, the ball just came over from the wing. I'm not quite sure it was who crossed it. Like, you know, just stuck my head out and it ended up in the back of the net, really.
Ian Rush, thank you very much indeed. Not quite what we were expecting there, lads, but well, never mind.
Jack Charlton has taken the Republic of Ireland to an historic victory. Ball, and Charlton won it, and again. Shaky under pressure. He can't enjoy Jack Charlton being there. Bobby Charlton with the corner. Jack!
I think the moment when we got into the World Cup final, when we beat Portugal, because I had given a penalty away, I think, in the game.
Torres, it's a penalty! A penalty, it must be. Jackie Charlton handled it.
The last 5 minutes was the longest 5 minutes I've ever had in a football match.
2-1.
And then when the whistle went, then the relief. You're in the final, you've got through the most important game of your life up till then. And the final itself was, of course, important, but getting there, that match against Portugal was so much. I think I regret when I left Middlesbrough, I left a year too early. I should have stayed another 1 year, because we had built a very formidable side.
That's for Craggs, who got well forward. Mills. Souness. Oh, beautiful shot by Graham Souness.
We had a good young side, well balanced, good players, good pros. Probably needed to sign 1 or 2 outstanding players in the country at the time, and we had the money to do it, and I didn't. I decided to leave, and I left the money for somebody else to spend. My favourite player of all time, I think, has got to be my brother, our kid, as a player. Scored some tremendous goals, was a great influence in midfield. Spread the ball about from 5 yards to 50 yards. Nobody's ever scored more spectacular goals in important situations than him.
Jack Charlton finding another body again. What about a shot? Is a great goal! A beautiful goal by Bobby Charlton.
He was somebody that I used to love to watch play. Even when he was 13, 14, and I used to watch him when he was at school. I used to watch him. He's a great player to watch. We had played Man United in the semi-final of the Cup at Nottingham, and we beat them 1-0. I'd been selected to play for England, and I went into their dressing room when Don told me after the match. And I walked in, you know, with a big smile on my face, and I'm saying to our kid, "Hey, Bob, I've been picked to play for England at Wembley in the England-Scotland game." And he went, "Oh, great. I'm delighted for you," you know. And the rest of the... Paddy Crowlin keeps saying to me, "When you walked in there," he said, "we could have picked you up and thrown you out the window." I mean, I'd walked in when they've just been knocked out of the FA Cup in the semi-final. It never occurred to me. Never occurred to me. The bigger the crowd, the more noise, the more involvement, the better I like it. And it still goes through to me with the Irish. The bigger crowds we have in Dublin, the bigger crowds when we go to Belfast, the bigger crowds when we go and play abroad. I hate playing in front of 5,000 or 6,000 people. It's a non-event. I like big events. It's nothing to spend 3 nights out watching games during the week and then travel away on a Saturday and then be in watching kids play on a Sunday morning virtually whole year round. But you never get away from the phone. The more successful you are, the more people want to talk to you, and the more time-consuming it becomes. And the more annoying it becomes that when you pinch your day off to go fishing, you read in the paper that Jack Charlton was unavailable, he had gone fishing again. On the 1 day off a week that you pinch. And I mean pinch. There's been a lot of speculation. People talk about what I'm going to do, and to be fair, I love the Irish job, I love the Irish people, I love the country, and they've done well by me and they've looked after me. And I've no real ambitions to do anything else. People talk about the England job, not really. I just don't think it's me. And I'm getting a bit too long in the tooth to start having to change the way I behave and the things I want to do. And I wouldn't want any more hassle now. I get enough hassle from the English press now when I'm manager of Ireland. Sometimes I talk too much, sometimes. I've got to make me point, whether you want to listen to it or whether you don't. If I start to explain something to you and I think you're not listening, I'll still carry on until I grab your attention and I make you listen. But then again, I talk to everybody, you see. I talk to drunks in pubs, talk to lords and ladies, and talk to business people. And talking football particularly, I always have to make me point.
Brilliantly read then by Charlton, the lead centre-half.
Now, this sort of how do you do is neither one thing nor the other. It's not a standing area, but could you sit on these seats? They have no back. And the sooner more people realise this, the better it'll be for football as a whole. Now, just look at this dugout. It's very attractive, nice curved shape, but they've done nothing about the glass here to make it more pleasing to the eye of the visiting spectator. Why don't they use stained glass, perhaps depicting famous victories from the 1950s, my era? No, they've done nothing. And the sooner people realise this, the better it'll be for football as a whole. Now, here's another rum-do. Not a match day, I grant you that, But in these days when we're talking more and more about football in the community, is it too much to ask that your pie shop could not be open the 7 days of the week that God gave us? All I want is a pie. And the sooner more people in football wake up to this fact, the better it'll be for the game as a whole.
Hi, and welcome to Inside Right. Today I'm at Leeds Road, the home of Huddersfield Town, sadly on its last legs as a football stadium. It's hard to imagine that this sleeping giant once held 67,000 people for a cup tie against next week's Coca-Cola Cup opponents, Arsenal. That was more than 50 years ago. Next season, the club are moving to a futuristic new stadium just up the road, the model of which is proving a popular attraction for visitors. While we're on the subject of new grounds, remember last week's visit to League newcomers Wycombe Wanderers? Wycombe made me feel very welcome, which is more than I can say for the police reception for some visiting Gillingham fans. It appears that a group of Gills fans, all RAF men, stopped off for a drink on the way from Kent to Adams Park. When they got back to the coach, instead of being escorted to the ground, they were deported back to Gillingham. Even more bizarre was that 4 Wycombe fans from the local RAF base who they'd met in the pub were deported too on the same coach. Bucks police tell me that they acted to prevent possible crowd trouble at the ground, but now some of the irate fans are threatening to sue the police. Now 2 letters from fans and their attempts to get answers about racism at Crystal Palace and their South London neighbours Millwall.
First, Chris Grant from Lewisham, who wrote to Palace after they refused to support the Kick Racism Out of Football campaign in the club programme. Chris told Chairman Ron Nodes that black fans were being driven away as a result. He wrote,
"It makes me really angry to think that after 25 years I'm having to give up one of my favourite activities and lose out on my dream of taking my child along to Palace just because you couldn't see the point of supporting an initiative that 85 other clubs have signed up to quite happily."
Palace told us that they didn't have room in their programme for the campaign statement, but the club said that they actively support every anti-racist campaign. Now to Millwall, and Watford fan Jacko Jaksic wrote to Chairman Reg Burr about the shocking racist abuse he witnessed on the terraces there. The reply, not the letter you would expect. Mr. Burr accuses Jacko of being sick. Jacko tells us that with this sort of reply, it makes him wonder whether clubs are really taking seriously the issue of racism on the terraces. We're compiling a special report on racism in football. If you have a story, then let us know. Now it's time for the Supportaloo, where you get your chance to let off steam about our beautiful game. It's all been going off at Man City. The fans there have been pretty vocal, to say the least. No surprise that there's been another anti-Swales demonstration. No surprise also that there's strong representation from City fans on this week's Supportaloo.
I'm John. I'm a Manchester City supporter. What's been going on at this club in the last few weeks is ridiculous. This is the man we want, Francis Lee, not Peter Swales.
My name is Christopher Magden and I'm a close to Manchester City. And I've only got one thing to tell you. This toilet's not big enough for Swales.
I'd like to thank Peter Swales for his 20 years of loyal, dedicated service. What do you think?
Definitely, and I'd just like to thank Francis Lee for saving us, and hopefully now we're going to have 20 years of success. Right. Thank you very much. Full the toilet.
After the last England game, Leslie Ferdinand didn't get a lot of credit. If Ian Wright was the one who had scored, it would be all Ian Wright. Let's give Leslie Ferdinand and QPR a bit more support. After all, they were the top London team.
Why does everyone assume that just because you're a woman, you don't know what you're talking about football? I go to almost every single game each season, and I've been to over 50 grounds, so I think I know as much as the average male, probably even more. Just give us a break, OK?
I'm Jeff Knight and I support Dover Athletic. I think there should be a lot more non-league football instead of just league football on TV. I'm Mel. I'm Dan.
We support Leicester, and all we're saying as a family is to all football grounds up and down the country, allow half-price admission. Please. Thank you.
Graham Curry,
Liverpool fan. I'd like to know, whatever happened to those corrugated toilets at Kidderminster Harriers?
It's good to see real-life people on Highbury's North Bank again. But whatever happened to that fabulous mural? Apparently Arsenal tried to flog it at some ridiculous price, but there were no takers. Eventually, the firm who did the work bought it back for 1,500 quid, and it's now languishing in a warehouse near the Severn Bridge. Despite rumours, Carlisle United deny they were interested in the work of art to bolster attendances at Brunton Park. Take 2 bottles into the shower. At Liverpool, they've got 5. Shower gel, shampoo, aftershave, deodorant, and body splash. There's also Eau de Leicester perfume and Forest shampoo, all part of the latest commercial spin-offs. But what's this? Coventry condoms? Apparently it's nothing to do with the club. A local AIDS awareness campaign is cheekily promoting the sky blue condoms as part of a safe sex campaign. This is the Shankly Boot Room, dedicated to Huddersfield's most famous manager. But what would Shanks have made of the story which emerged from the West Midlands Ladies League this week? Locals in Swadlincote have complained to their council that Gresley Rangers have been revealing all by swapping their shirts during the match. The good news is that Gresley have had a whip round and bought a new strip to keep the spectators' eyes on the ball in future. That's it from Leeds Road. Don't forget, keep the letters coming, and also the fanzines. See you next week.
Write to Inside Right, BBC North, PO Box 27, Manchester, M60 1SJ.
My name's Julie Hemsley. I've recently been appointed as the first woman member on the FA Council. My full-time job is working for the Football in the Community as Development Officer for Women and Girls at Brighton Hove Albion Football Club. A major part of this involves the coaching at the local schools.
Girls are waiting for you in the gym.
Right, thanks for letting us come down.
Right, girls, so if you'd like to get yourself...
The bulk of my work is working in schools and linking up with school teachers, head of PE, and to go in and teach girls that want to try out football. And it's been very successful so far. We're very pleased with the progress that we've been having. We've over 35 schools now, and we've seen over 1,000 young girls and helped them participate in football. They really enjoy the sessions and they want to continue having them. They've been nagging their teachers. It's great, you know. I mean, the teachers probably don't realise it, but we do push them. We do push them to say, well, come on, girls, the only way you're going to get football in your school is to say, please, miss, please, sir, I want football.
Thanks very much. If you need to know anything, talk to your teacher, and I want you to nag them to make sure that you get more football. As soon as the ball's going, in you go. Good.
Apart from the coaching of the young children, I assist with the England ladies team, assistant manager of the England ladies team. I've been playing football for 20 years now. I've played for England, but I played for Brighton GPO to begin with, and now we're known as Brighton Hove Albion football team. Brighton Hove Albion play a big part in my life. This is where I come to work. The community team is led by Stephen Ford, ex-professional player with Stoke, and I believe he played for Brighton, and Chris Harris, who's a very important member of our team because he's a volunteer.
And we've got to try and be now trying to attract some more kids that we haven't had before.
We're hoping that what we can offer through the community scheme will help the club with its profile, getting more people into watch the game, and to help it survive, really. And I'd like to really try and get more girls. Today's a big day because it's the first time that I'll be going to watch England as the first ever Women Football Association Council member. The FA Council is made up of 88 members, me being the 88th member and the only female member, so that's 87 men. I'm on the council as a representative for the Women's Football Alliance. This has come about with the fusion of the FA and the women's game. I went to the match with Mick Gow, he's the coach for the Brighton Hove Albion ladies team. I'm very nervous to start with.
Fantastic, you know.
Met Sue Thomas, who's the Women's National Coordinator for football.
Could do with this many at a Women's International.
So it was nice to see some friendly faces and some other friendly faces as well that I met in the crowd.
I'm not allowed to crack jokes, so I'm not allowed to...
It was nice to get a soft seat at Wembley. I looked around the stadium and it was fantastic. The atmosphere was amazing. They were playing the national anthems and I felt so proud to be here. The first 10 minutes was explosive. I mean, there was so much passion, and to get a goal after 6 minutes was superb. Gascoigne, I mean, superb goal. I mean, jinxed around the box, and hit it well. But an all-round good team performance. I feel good. I agree with the man of the match, Ferdinand. He worked really hard, and his win of the ball in the air was superb. And it took 80 minutes for the centre-half to figure out that he's got to stand a yard off to win the ball. The experience for me tonight was amazing. I mean, just to be part of the national side, you just feel very proud and very pleased. My first meeting of the FA Council tomorrow, and I've got a feeling that they're going to be in really good spirits. I've got no worries at all.
Now, we've all read about the Marseille bribery scandal, but this story is changing day to day. So I've come out here to find out exactly where it's up to. The only trouble is, the only thing I know about Marseille is this is the hometown of Ouar Cantona. So what I need is someone that knows what's going on and can speak the local lingo. And I know just the person.
J'étais cool, assis sur un banc, c'était au printemps, il cueille une marguerite. Ce sont deux amants, overdose de douceur, ils jouent comme des enfants, je t'aime un peu beaucoup à la folie.
Well, Leslie, my French isn't exactly très bon, so what's the story so far?
Well, when the scandal first broke, the Marseille fans didn't believe it. They thought it was some conspiracy set up in Paris. Then a Marseille player, Edley, confessed, and they suddenly realised it could be true. Well, now, getting kicked out of the European Cup could cost the club £15 million. And there's this big campaign started by the fans. They're actually sending in money, as you can see in the paper, to support the club.
So the supporters are like that serious then about the place?
They really are that serious, yeah.
Well, where are we today? Where are we up to?
Well, Tappy is actually in the town hall now, talking to the mayor, trying to drum up some more money. This afternoon, he's got a big press conference over at the ground, and then he's going to meet the fans. He's going to tell them if he's staying or if he's going. It's a really important day for French football.
Oh, we better get over the ground then.
We will, yep.
Bernard Tapie, politician and self-made millionaire owner of Olympique de Marseille, took the club from second division obscurity to European champions inside a few years. But now the footballing fairy tale has turned into a nightmare, as UEFA have thrown them out of the European Cup competition that they won last May amidst accusations of bribery and corruption. A Marseille club official and this player Edley are accused of trying to bribe opposition players to throw this vital league match against Valenciennes, which Marseille won 1-0 and virtually guaranteed them the title. The Valenciennes player injured, Robert, was later found to have £30,000 buried in his garden. Tapie claimed it was a loan to open a restaurant. So the world's press gathered today to see if he has been successful in overturning UEFA's decision to boot them out of Europe, and if he will stay on with the club and see the crisis through. And I'm here too, to do a little bit of business and see if I can sign up this man, Basil Bowley, for the boys at Everton.
Je veux poursuivre. Et poursuivre avec la même ambition.
Tapie quickly made it clear that he would stay with the club, but to everyone's surprise, he declared that a Swiss court had overturned UEFA's decision and that he now fully intended Marseille to go back into the European Cup and play AEK Athens.
Le premier.
I now saw my chance to ask the question that the other French journalists present were afraid to ask.
Mr. Tapie, BBC standing room only?
Non.
No?
En français.
En français?
Oui.
Avec interpréteur?
Tout à l'heure, hein, parce que là,
Yeah.
on va se parler. Tout à l'heure, on va faire un truc spécial pour les télévisions.
Une petite question, c'est que les Anglais s'intéressent beaucoup. Vous savez que vous avez des problèmes financiers. Est-ce que vous voulez vendre Basil Bowley?
Si vous pouviez me dire quelle fonction vous occupez au sein de l'Olympique de Marseille pour me dire que j'ai des problèmes financiers, je répondrais à la question sur Bowley.
Est-ce qu'il est à vendre? Parce qu'il y a plein de clubs anglais qui voulaient bien l'acheter. C'est ça.
Bowley n'a pas de prix, madame.
There's no price for Basil Bowley. You
No.
can't buy him.
Sorry, Howard. Tried.
Having faced the press, Bernie now went to talk to the thousands of waiting fans outside the stadium. How many club directors do you know would come out and talk to the fans like this?
Puisque le tribunal de Berne vient d'annuler la décision de l'UEFA.
And the good news was gratefully received.
Well, a very rousing speech indeed from Mr. Tappy. He's really whipped the crowd up. He spoke with conviction from the heart. Mind you, I still wouldn't buy a used car off him.
So the crowd went home ecstatic, but not for long. The world governing body FIFA waded into the story hours later, threatening the French league that unless Tappy withdrew his legal actions against UEFA, all 5 French clubs would be excluded from European competition and the national side from the World Cup. As the fans waved Tappy goodbye, little did they know that they were waving goodbye to the European Cup. For less than 24 hours later, Bernard Tappy bowed to FIFA's ultimatum and withdrew Marseille's legal action against UEFA. The dream of a comeback was all over.
Now here's another scenario we're seeing more and more in the game, the painting of yellow areas. Now these are all very well and good in the purposes of safety, but what happens if somebody gets booked? The people over there won't be able to see that the card is yellow because it will merge into the background you see behind me. And the sooner more people realise this, the better it'll be for the game as a whole. The same can also be said, of course, of red seats. Now, granted, a lot of these will be full during the game of football, but what if somebody wants to go and get a cup of tea, or even a pie? Presuming, of course, the pie shop is open. The same problem applies. People over there will not be able to see the colour of the card being held up. They'll just see a referee waving wildly in the air, which is really funny enough to make me laugh as well when you come to think about it. But the sooner more people realise that I'm completely mad, woohoo, the better it'll be for football as a whole.
Well, that's it for this week's show. And whether Marseille get to play Athens or not, our boys will certainly be in action in Europe this week, so good luck to all of them. And we'll see you next week.